All right. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Bette McCarthy, and I'm the chair of the Barnstable Old Kings Highway Historic Committee. And I'd like to welcome everyone and to this meeting of the Old Kings Highway Historic District Committee is being recorded and it's broadcast on the Town of Barnstable Government Access Channel. Pardon me. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 20, the chair must inquire whether anyone else is recording the meeting, and if so, would they please make their presence known? Okay, I guess not. So, to all persons deemed interested or affected by the Town of Barnstable Old Kings Highway Historic District Act under Section 9 of Chapter 470 of Acts of 1973 as amended, you are hereby notified that a hearing will be held tonight on the applications listed for on the agenda for January June 25th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. And this meeting is being handled remotely. We'd like to remind all applicants and audience members that we are an elected volunteer committee following the guidelines of the Town of Barnstable Old Kings Highway Historic District Act. And any applicant or interested party who is aggrieved by a decision of this committee, they have a right to appeal the decision to the Old Kings Highway Regional Historic Commission. We ask that during this evening's proceedings, all cell phones be turned off and conversations other than those before the committee take place outside of this remote meeting. And when an applicant is called, we ask that the applicant and all interested parties identify themselves. And lastly, as best practices for meetings held remotely where we may not be able to visually identify who's speaking, we ask all committee members and participants to identify themselves before making any motions or comments. Online audience members wishing to participate during the public comment section of the hearing can use the raised hand button to notify the chair. And dial-in audience members wishing to participate during this public comment section, they should press *9 on their phones to notify the chair. And all participants will be muted, and you must be recognized by the chair in order to participate. So our first order of business this evening is to take a roll call. So we'll do that now. Leslie Wallace.
Here.
Ryan Caholen.
Here.
Wendy Schock.
Here.
And Bette McCarthy here. All right. So our first order of business on our application is a continued application. And this applicant wishes to continue their application. So Christina and Bryson Devine of 90 Pine Street, West Barnstable, map 153, parcel 024, built in 1972. And they wish to postpone that for the next meeting. So we need a motion to accept that.
Sure. This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to continue the certificate of appropriateness application for Christina and Bryson Devine, 90 Pine Street, West Barnstable, map 153, parcel 024, built 1972, to the remote meeting scheduled for July 9th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m.
Okay.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you, Ryan. And a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace.
Aye.
Ryan Caholen.
Aye.
Wendy Schock.
Aye.
And Bette McCarthy. Aye. Our next continued application is for Foreside Harbor LLC, 1919 Main Street, West Barnstable, map 216, parcel 029, built in 1950. And this is to install a new double-sided custom post and panel style sign for the new tenant. So since this is a continued application, we'd like the applicant to discuss.
Hi, my name is Mariana Agresti. We met last week. Nice to see you again. I'm the architect representing the tenant. We've had some time to review your comments on the sign. It would be helpful. Could you start, Erica, at the first page for me? Thank you. Um, So we went back to assess the existing condition and see how we could tailor the design to meet more what is there in terms of size and scale. The primary concerns at the last meeting seemed to be that the sign was too bright, and also concerns that it perhaps was not as historic enough. So here's the existing sign. Next slide, please. Then I decided to just, it helped me to see them both in the same drawing. So here we're seeing the proposed sign and the existing sign. So you can see that they are both painted white, that they are as required are both the 8 square feet. The sign that's there now has muted colors, but is also multicolored. So we thought in terms of visual impact on the street, this was a helpful drawing to see. Next slide, please. And then this just shows the new sign by itself. We do have something at the end that shows the colors because I know there's a lot of concern about being sure they're historic. So here you're seeing we took away the 2 round balls on either side of the post. They've been eliminated. There was concern that that was just too busy, so we've taken those away. We've also added a slight arch to the top of the sign, so it's not a pure rectangle, which softens it and gives it a bit more of a historic panel style. Otherwise, the top of the post just have a very simple angle to them, and that's only to shed rainwater because we don't want things to deteriorate over time. Next slide, please. This slide, I went back to look at what was in the neighborhood so we could make sure that we were consistent with that. So you can see the Hall of Farms sign, which is not very far away to the east, down 6A, as well as the Thai Water Gallery, which has a fair amount of expression. Ours is so much more discreet. And if just scroll up, and again, a close-up of the sign that's there, and then realizing and not right on 6A, but the closest sign that it goes up is the Presbyterian Church. So I was just trying to look at that zone. So I think there's precedent. We're trying very much to sort of see the precedent for a white painted sign, some with 2 posts on the side. Next slide, please. So we went to the Benjamin Moore historic palette and made sure that we matched the colors. I understand there was a request for a 2-color logo, but we would ask the committee to please consider, since we have muted all the colors down from the logo that they've had and made the sign very discreet, that since these are Benjamin Moore historic colors, if we could maintain the colors, the reference color of the logos, it would help the business significantly. So you can see these historic colors, a very toned down gold, a kind of colonial blue, and what they call heritage red, which again, remember, these are very thin lines. I did drop these paint colors off because everything always looks so much brighter on the monitor. So I did drop off the actual colors, and I even think here they're looking a bit brighter than they do in actuality. So that's that. Are there any questions?
All right. Does that conclude your remarks?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
I'm open to questions. Sorry, I didn't.
All right.
You didn't hear
Sure.
me say that part. Yeah.
All right. We'd like the committee to now share their comments regarding the changes that you've made. Leslie, would you like to comment on?
Yep, I drove around 6A. There was one by 6A and Parker Road. It's a IT building, I believe. I took a picture and I thought that would look very nice in in your location. I probably should have sent it to Erica, but whatever. As far as yours go, can you move it up a little bit to the other ones that she took pictures of? Okay. See down just a smidge. No, okay. This is the one I want. The Ojala Farm. The posts are a bit higher with caps. I think that would look better, more historic. And let me just see. Okay. You have that little arch. I like that. And I was thinking, the color of your new door. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like a grayish blue.
Yes.
Maybe that as the background on the sign with white lettering. Or can you get down to the colors? The Buckland blue with the white or probably white letters, I think would look better. The four-tone business, I just don't like. I think it really maybe the flowers on the quilted shop are very discreet. They're not like so bold and modern looking as what you have. But I think if you raise the sides up a little bit, put caps on it, kept the arch, use maybe that Buckland blue, is it, with white lettering, I could go for that. I just don't like all the colors.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Leslie. Ryan, would you like to make some comments?
Sure. I think you took our comments back, and you obviously came back with something reworked. Thank you very much for losing the balls on top of the posts. I do agree with Leslie. I think more of a cap post that sticks up a little bit higher would look a little more appropriate. I agree that the arch softens the sign a little bit, gives it a little shape, which is great. I think with those changes, personally, I can probably get past the multicolored effect here, but I think that your comparison to what is going on, like at the art gallery, there's a little bit of swag with that sign. I think this is a good balance, but I would like to see the taller posts with some sort of cap. But I think that's all I have.
Okay. Thanks, Ryan. Wendy, would you like to comment?
Sure. Yeah, I agree with everything Leslie and Ryan said. I do appreciate, the changes that you made, again, taking off the balls. I think the arch is nice. But it just has so much of a modern look, compared to what we have in the area. There's a lot of colors going on. We can't like redesign the sign for you, but it just doesn't have a historic look or feel from my perspective. And I think this sign somewhere else would be terrific. I get it, but I just think for this area, it's just not historic enough looking. And with the suggestions that you've gotten from Ryan and Leslie, I think would be very helpful in bringing this along. So that's it from me, Bet.
Okay. Thanks, Wendy. This is Bette McCarthy, and I agree with the change in the shape with the arch, the suggestion to put the caps on it. as I look at this sign that you have, this photo that you have, that yellow, and also that's not a recommended color for signs, but that fades out in my estimation. Um, I can barely notice it from what I'm looking at. Um, the red, white, and blue would not bother me if you use those two colors, and if you use those in the wording somehow. Um, those those two colors would not bother me very much at all.
Which two
And
colors, Bet?
yeah, the blue and the red.
Oh, okay.
If you kept, and that would be a little more maybe historic looking, with the blue and the red, a little more colonial look. Um, that those are my comments. Anyone else wanting to get, to discuss anything? Any other committee members wishing to talk about it? Are there?
May I
Now,
respond?
how would you do the coloring though on it if you use the blue and the red?
Well,
Would do you mean the background would be like the blue and then red lettering? I don't get that.
no, I think they
Oh,
could keep the white sign and just use the red and the blue letters. So I don't know. That would be my suggestion. I don't know if the designer, what your comments are.
Yeah, I wanted to give everybody a chance, but I'm happy to respond. Yeah. Um, Everyone's okay. Um, so be happy to raise the caps. I wanted to be careful with too much of a busy thing, but if everybody's has consensus with that, I think that we could work with that. Um, I appreciate what you're saying about the yellow. It is a little less visible, why I think I represented it as a three color because it's really not so busy because the yellow is rather subtle. I'll check with the tenant and see if she would be open to taking that yellow word, Cape Cod, and maybe making it the red or the blue. Thank you for that suggestion. I would ask if you would please consider us to keep just the little accent yellow on the ball because
Yeah,
it allows us to have a ball of that design. Otherwise, it's going to fall apart graphically and not look very professional.
right. And
Um,
that's sort of like a logo. I don't object to the ball.
Okay, but we could keep the yellow in the ball is what I'm asking.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Um, so um, so I think it would be our preference to keep the white panel sign. We actually think it looks cleaner and more elegant for the space than to start painting everything blue. So if that, I realize everybody didn't have that suggestion, but just to know that would be our preference. Um, I think I've hit on what everybody said. Um,
would you be willing to come back with a mock-up with where you want the red and the blue on the white background so I can get a visual?
yes, I could definitely update the renderings, no problem. Um, is it possible, given the holiday next week, that I submit that administratively? That way we could move forward with the permit that we need for the sign, et cetera. I'm cognizant of my client's deadlines.
Are you also going to make the sides a little taller with the caps on it?
Yes,
Okay,
as requested, we will
yeah.
do that. And if the rendering has concerns, then you can put us on for the hearing. But if you see the rendering and it addresses your concerns, maybe you could consider that since we've had a chance to talk a couple times. Just a suggestion. And if you need to talk amongst yourselves about that, you can get back to us too.
No,
Just
I'm trying,
just
so you
yeah.
want the white background and like Cape Cod in one color and then the rest of it in the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a better compromise.
Yeah. But Erica, how does that work? I mean, I think they need to come back, right? I don't know if we can.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. Some committees do administrative reviews once you've had this sort of level of discussion, but I understand if you don't.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I don't know. I'll defer to Erica and Bet on that.
Yeah, this is Erica Brown. Unfortunately, I've never been through that process, Marianne, so I'd be hesitant to have approval on this and then the sign go up and it's not what they expect. And I understand them reviewing the renderings beforehand administratively, but I would just be hesitant on that, given the committee's how the committee functions.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So is the next hearing 2 weeks from now or 1 week? It's 2 weeks, right?
2 weeks.
Yeah. July 9th.
Yeah. All right. Do, um, I think at this point we need to continue this application for 2 weeks and have it at our next meeting.
Point of order, Bet. I just
Yeah.
want to address any public comment if there is any.
Okay, yes. Is there somebody in the public wishing to comment on this?
So I wanted to address that there was a public comment, a letter submitted today. So I'm sure you guys didn't have a chance to review it. It was the sent in from Terry McDonald, I think her name was Terry McDonald. Sorry, I can't recall her name offhand. Give me 2 seconds. I want to be sure I address it correctly. Terry Riley, who spoke at the last meeting, just reiterating her opposition to this application.
Okay, I believe we did that last week. We mentioned that
Yep. Yep, I just wanted to address it since she did send in comment again separately. So
Today, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It would be helpful if I could hear the letter because I'm assuming she had comments about this specific one.
It was actually very short. So just give me 2 seconds and I will go ahead and share it. She had stated, I can't zoom in tonight, but again, these colors are non-conforming and should not be approved. Please read the permitted colors to the architect so she's aware. Thanks, Terry Riley.
Okay.
No.
Thank you.
No problem. Did anyone else from the public want to make any comment before we move on? No? Seeing none, I don't see any. Bet. Did you
Okay.
want to?
All right.
I've seen you kind of raise your hand a couple of times. Yep.
Oh,
Deb, you're going to need to
Deb.
unmute yourself.
I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm the executive director of the Cape Cod Toy Library and really appreciate the comments and the suggestions. And I think that we can make that work. It's disappointing, I will say, because this is a branded logo and it is a community play space and a toy lending library for the greater community. We've been drawing families from an 82-mile radius from New Bedford to Truro, and it is a recognizable logo that we've had now for 10 years. So I just want to put that out there so that you're aware of that and what we're all about. We're about the whole community.
all right. Thank you. I think we're particularly focusing on this because it is a prominent location and there's so much traffic going by this. So we want to make sure that it's appropriate and acceptable. So we thank you for your patience and we'll get back to it. So when we see the revised image at our next meeting. And we thank you. I think we're pretty close. All right. Thank you. All right. So then we need a motion to continue this application to our next meeting.
Yep. Okay, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to continue the certificate of appropriateness application for Foreside Harbor LLC, 1919 Main Street, West Barnstable, map 216, parcel 029, built 1950, to the remote meeting scheduled for July 9th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy, aye. So thank you, and we look forward to see what you can make with this. All right, thank you.
Great. Thank you.
All right, our next application is for Danielle Paulson of 34 Cypress Point, Barnstable, map 349, parcel 065, built in 1972. And it's to replace 7 windows throughout bedrooms, dining room, kitchen, and all the grill patterns will change to 2/2. So we need to open a public hearing for this application.
Okay, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to open the public hearing.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy, aye. All right. So we need the applicant to discuss.
I'm Andrew Bass representing Anderson Windows for Danielle Paulson at 34 Cypress Point. And I think this one's pretty tucked back. This one's way back on the power lines in Comaquid. You're just moving from 12/12 to a 2/2. She'd replaced windows in the past on the other sides of the house that were no grills at all without a problem. But the front of the house, we were trying to protect it and make it look nice. This 12/12 is just a lot of busyness.
Mhm.
It's a simple farm style.
Okay. All right. Does that conclude your?
Yeah, there's not much to add here. Like I said, this is tucked way back in Comaquid. The farm style grill pattern is what she wanted. She's been there since 1972. She was the original owners of the house, so very very nice lady. Just wants to change it up and have some more light in her house. And I figure with the stuff that's going on the side where it was already approved without any grills in the past, on the side windows that adding grills to the front windows would be perfectly acceptable and probably make you guys a lot happier than no grills at all.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Committee remarks. Wendy, would you like?
Yeah, so I agree. It is, a fairly remote location. The house is not historic, so I don't think anything would dictate, a certain type of grill pattern. I certainly think 2/2 is definitely better than no grills at all. And I think it will fit nice in the neighborhood. There are a lot of mixed styles in that area, you'll see all different kinds of grills and style homes. So I think it's entirely appropriate, and I don't have any concerns about the change.
Okay, thanks, Wendy. Brian, what are your comments?
We're a softball's throw away from being out of the district. You're basically on the power lines. I take no exception.
Okay, thank you. Leslie,
I agree with my two comrade in arms. I think it will give you more light, and you are set back. So I have no problem.
all right, thank you, Leslie. And this is that I agree with the comments the other committee members have made. Um, given the location of the property and the neighborhood, I don't see any issue with the 2/2. So we now need to see if there's any member of the public wishing to comment.
This is Erica Brown. I do not see anyone from the public wishing to comment on this item.
Okay, so then we need to close the public hearing.
Sure, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to close the public hearing.
Ryan Cahola, I'll second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Schock,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy, aye. So now there were no, close the public hearing. There were no public comments. So we need a motion then to accept this.
Sure, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the certificate of appropriateness application for Danielle Paulson, 34 Cypress Point, Barnstable, map 349, parcel 065, built 1972, as submitted.
Ryan Cahola, I'll second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Schock,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy, aye. All right. Our next application, thank you very much. Our next application is for Perry Wentworth, 101 Rendezvous Lane, Barnstable, map 279, parcel 028, built in 1920. And it's to replace 3 double hung windows with a triple casement on the north elevation. At a picture window on the south elevation, replace 2 double hung windows with a picture window on the west elevation. So we need to open a public hearing for this application for Rendezvous Lane.
Yep, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to open the public hearing.
Ryan Cahola, I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Schock,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy, aye. So is the applicant available to discuss the replacement of the windows on Rendezvous?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. I can't seem to get my video up there, but I'm glad you can hear me. Thank you very much for entertaining my application. I am new to the neighborhood. I love my new house, my new old house. And the kitchen is, as you face the house here, you go in the front porch and you walk into a lovely foyer, and to the right is the dining room, and to the left is a traditional parlor with sliding glass doors. As you see in the front of the house here to the left, you only partially see a picture window that is there with this is not an enclosed, it's not all one piece, it's a transom piece that's above that picture window. The window that I'd like, the windows that I'd like to replace over here on the right-hand side of the front, there we go. Thank you, Erica, that's great. We've come around the front here, and the bump out you just saw so that you couldn't see these windows from the front, even though it's the front. This far window on the left, inside the square, is actually not in the kitchen. That's in the pantry, and the pantry is charming. That won't be touched at all. this window is in the extreme corner. The wall is right between that thin little space there between those two windows, separating the pantry from the kitchen. And then this space in between is where the sink is. So, and then the window on the right has that really magnificent peak as you go under this tree that's in front. I have beautiful trees. You look northeast and it takes you right out to Barnstable Harbor. So this window, the space that I'd like to use is really if you took half of this window and combined it with half of this window and used the center space and put one nice big picture window there with in this case, the newer windows have the transom built right in to the window. So that would be it would be very similar. It wouldn't be the exact replica of the window on the front, but it would be very, very close. But that's one of them. Eric, can you show the one that, well, there it is. Okay, well, those are okay, this is, let's see. Oh, this says kitchen. I'm sorry. I thought I put two in there. Is there another one, Erica?
I think I saw one with the transom. It's
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's right after, it's right near this
Oops,
page.
oops, yeah.
Yeah,
So that's the back of the house. There we go. There it is. That's the one right there.
gotcha.
I gave the two windows because first of all, I love everything about this house. So your input on what's going to look the best is fine by me. That's why I chose two window styles, but this would be my preferred one so that you'd have the whole thing together with that transom look across the top. And then it gives me an opportunity to have a little opening on either side. So that would be my preference, but I would go with the other one that's in there. I mean, not that I wouldn't come back to you if you have your suggestions, but those were the ones I just wanted to hope for one or the other. But that would be that one, yes, rather than this
Mhm.
one. I don't know. This one just looks busier to me for some reason, but it's more in keeping with what's there, with the idea of there being three of the same thing instead of just a nice big space. So that's the kitchen window. How would you like to take these? Do you want to take them one room at a time or just keep going?
Why
I
don't
just
you
keep
keep
going.
going?
Yeah,
That's all
Okay.
right.
Okay, so thank you. So this is the back of the house, and this is a tough description. I call this the tower room because I don't know what the history of this part of the house was, but I do know that as we look at this photo to the left was an addition that, to my understanding, went on in 2013. And that single window there is the window to the bathroom, and then there are windows behind that tree that are the primary bedroom. So this is a small room and has only these two windows. Before this addition was added, there was another window exactly the size of these that are cased as one, on that side, on the northwest side. How do I know that? Because there was a white panel on the interior wall there that I thought was an access panel to this bathroom. So during the inspection, we took the panel off, and it was just a covering of the old window. So the glass is gone, but the window is still fully framed and in the wall. But it's exactly like this, same size, everything. And then as you can see, there's no window on this south-facing wall. But there are these windows up above. So what I'd like to do is have the same picture window here and the same picture, replace that other one two of the same, exactly the same, bigger one window like this in each of those spots and bring in a good amount of light there.
So will those picture windows have that transom like the kitchen or?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Um, does that conclude your remarks?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
thank you very much.
All
Yep.
right. Well, then let's have some committee comments on it. Wendy, would you like to?
Yeah, it is a very charming house and such an unusual style for Cape Cod, that craftsman style. It's lovely. So in terms of the back of the house, we can't see that from the road. So, I think what you've proposed, putting, the bigger windows with the transom is appropriate. I don't have any concerns about that. And similarly with the kitchen, short of doing something custom, to match that other one, which would be prohibitively expensive, I think that's probably the best option. And I agree with you on the choice. I like that the one on page, I think number 6, better than the one on number 7 with the smaller kind of windows up top on the transom.
Mhm.
I agree. I think not, yeah, not that one. Go up one more. Which one it, sorry. Maybe it was that one, Erica. I don't know, Perry. It was the one that you liked.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's down another one, I think. Erica found it.
Yeah.
There we
Yeah.
go.
There it is.
That's
You can
the
barely
one.
see them.
Yes.
That one. I think that would be entirely appropriate and would blend in nicely with the rest of the house. And you really can't see that window. Certainly when you stand in front of the house, you don't see it. It's only if you're coming from the water going down Rendezvous, you get a peek of that. And it's actually, I think, a little obstructed by some trees anyway. Um, so yeah, no concerns or objections on my part.
Okay, great. Thanks. Ryan, would you like?
Uh, Perry, first off, welcome to the neighborhood ish.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love it.
I love your enthusiasm and I hear a lot of curiosity about your home and the area, so I think that's great. No, I think all the changes that you proposed make sense. You had a couple of things going for you with not being directly on 6A. Also, you're set back from the road. I mean, I'm going to venture to say probably a good 60, 70 feet anyway.
Yes.
And, the bulk of your aesthetic changes seem to be towards the rear or certainly not visible. So I don't take any exception. I think what you're proposing is appropriate, and I would love to know the history of your tower.
Oh, me too. I'll share it with you when I find out.
Okay. Leslie,
I
would you
love Rendezvous Lane, so you made a good choice.
Yeah.
I like the windows you like better than anything. And if you
Great.
can get a peek at the ocean, go for it. I mean, that's what you live there for. So I don't know. I think it's a wonderful addition and I have no problem with it at all.
Okay, great. And thank you, Leslie. This is Bet. I absolutely have no issue at all with what you propose. I think it's totally appropriate and minimally visible as you drive by, and it blends in well with the rest of the house. So I don't have any issues. And again, it's a great street, and I used to walk it every day, but I don't have my walking buddy anymore. So anyhow, I know every house on the street and watched everything, all the changes. So, all right, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Let's see if there's any member of the public wishing to comment.
Sarah, this is Erica Brown. I do not see anyone from the public wishing to comment on this.
Okay, so then let's close the public hearing portion of this application.
Sure, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to close the public hearing.
Right?
Brian Caholen, I'll second. Sorry.
Thank you, Ryan. And a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy, aye. So now we need a motion to approve the application.
Okay, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the certificate of appropriateness application for Perry Wentworth, 101 Rendezvous Lane, Barnstable, map 279, parcel 028, built 1920, as submitted.
Brian Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
and Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy, aye. So enjoy your new windows.
Oh, thank you very, very much.
All right.
I just want to add, Bet, your comment about walking this street and being your favorite. I wasn't here 24 hours when the neighbors were stopping and saying hello and introducing themselves. Some of them left little goodie bags on my front porch.
Aw.
It is as beautiful as this is. The neighborhood is just perfect match.
Yeah.
Beautiful people, beautiful neighborhood. It's wonderful. So thank you very, very
Yeah.
much.
And historically, it's a very famous street.
Well,
So
again, Susan
Yeah.
Livingston, who I haven't met yet, but that was the seller of this house, and we have shared by text. She's sent me a lot of her records of the history of this whole neighborhood. So nothing about the tower yet, Ryan, but I intend to get that.
no,
Excellent.
and a family that used to run the market used to live there.
I heard that.
Hmm.
One of my friends, I think, grew up with their son.
Yeah.
And said that he spent a lot of time here with them. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Well,
Yeah.
good luck and enjoy.
Thank you all.
Enjoy, Perry.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thanks very much.
Okay. All right. Our next application is for Michael Nirazinski and Susan Durto of 260 Percival Drive, West Barnstable, map 110, parcel 001/024. It was built in 1994. And this is to install a second 10 by 12 shed at the top of the driveway. The shed will have a 6-foot double door, one window, one side door, and asphalt shingles. So we need to open a public hearing for this application.
Hey, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to open the public hearing.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. The roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen, Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy, aye. So now is the applicant available to discuss their shed that they wish to?
Susan, I think you're muted.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Hello, I'm
Hi.
Susan DeHertog.
You want to give a small description of what you want to do, Susan?
Basically, we just want to add a shed that we can put a rider mower in. The other one is too small. It's not a 10 by 12. It's kind of, we hit our heads on it. But basically at the top of the driveway, against, basically in line with the other one, to be able to put in the lawnmower right there. It kind of ends where the flower pot is.
Okay. All right. Seems pretty straightforward. Committee comments, Leslie?
And all the siding, roof and all goes with the main house, the same
Correct.
thing. Yeah, okay. And it's going to be up against the one you have now, or?
Well, at the very end of the driveway, it curves a little, so it can't, go. It has to be over in that
Kitty
stone
corner,
area.
yeah, kitty corner.
Yeah.
And
It's kind of in line with the other shed, but
yeah. And your back a ways too.
Yeah, because we have to be able to get in and out of the driveway.
Yeah. I have no problem with it.
Great. Ryan, what are your comments?
I would have to probably be paying close attention when I drive by to look and see it. So I feel it's appropriate.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ryan. Wendy?
Yes, I agree with Ryan and with Leslie, but just want to confirm, no pink shutters, no?
No.
No.
It's going to be the color of the house shutters. That was the only picture I could get. I'm not a computer girl.
Yeah.
That's what I
why
assume, but
asked about the colors,
you
yeah.
should always ask.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't have any concerns. It's up on the top of your driveway. It's, kind of behind the house and not really that visible. So no concerns or exceptions from me.
Okay, thank you. And this is Bette McCarthy. I agree with the comments of the committee, and I know the house is set up on the hill, and this will barely be very minimally visible at all. So I think it's appropriate. Let's see if there are any members of the public wishing to comment.
Chair, this is Erica Brown. I do not see anyone from the public wishing to comment on this.
Okay, so then let's close the public hearing portion.
Sure. This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to close the public hearing.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Ryan Caholen.
Aye.
All right. And now we need a motion to accept this application.
Point of order. Bette,
Yeah.
did you vote on that? I don't think
Pardon
you
me?
voted on that. So can you just vote on the closing of the public hearing? I didn't hear you vote on that.
Oh, Bette didn't give her vote, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Bette McCarthy, aye. So, all right. So now we need to approve the application.
Okay, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the certificate of appropriateness application for Michael Nieradzinski and Susan DeHertog, 260 Percival Drive, West Barnstable, map 110, parcel 001/024, built 1994 as submitted.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy, aye. So you're all set for your shed?
Thank you very much.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes the applications for this evening's agenda. There are no minor modifications or extensions other. So we now need to look at the minutes from our last meeting on the 11th. So were there any additions or corrections on the minutes?
I had one edit on the first item, the continued application. So the applicant requested a continuance until I think that should be June 25th meeting. It says June 11th. Yeah.
Okay.
Other than
I
that,
just didn't
thought
update
it
it.
was
That's my
fine.
set.
Yeah.
I can update that.
Okay. I read them. I didn't pick that up, and I didn't have any other.
Maybe the only thing I had, if memory serves, I think I arrived at this meeting on two wheels. So I don't know if I was there for the actual roll call, but I know Erica, you recognized when I did arrive. So I don't know if that
Uh,
matters wherever it would like to be, but I
Yeah.
believe national moving late.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, you
I
came.
will go ahead and note that on the attendance roll call in your late arrival.
I believe
Okay.
I made that vote.
All right. All right. So then we need to approve the minutes as adjusted.
Yep. Okay, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the minutes from the meeting held Wednesday, June 11th, 2025, with the minor modifications as discussed.
Brian Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Brian Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy. Aye. So let's see, our next meeting is July 9th. And the one after that is July 23rd. And with no further business, we can adjourn our meeting.
This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to adjourn today's meeting Wednesday, June 25th, 2025.
Brian Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Brian Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Schuck,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy. Aye. So thank you all very much.